Hey, welcome back, fellow Bucks fans. It is I, Robert Green here. Outside leverage, finally back after another hiatus. Uh, it's been a long first half of the season. It's been a pretty interesting first half of the season. I think it always is. Uh, this season, however, became even a little bit more interesting when our Bucks, despite that being one of the more popular teams in the league, once again got tabbed to go on an international trip. This time, first time ever, NFL in Germany, Munich, Germany, first time NFL game. It was a huge success given all the everything that we've seen so far has been a huge success when it comes to numbers and attendance and the excitement. It's been a big deal and a big success. I'm fortunate enough to talk to a fellow Bucks fan who actually attended the game, Tobias Stark. Tobias Stark is a fellow Bucks fan. We're going to get into how Tobias became a Bucks fan, being in a whole other country where football isn't the number one sport like it is here in the U.S. We're going to talk about his fandom. We'll talk about his experience at Munich at that game, that huge historical event, and then we'll finish off talking about how the Bucks going to try to finish off the season. Tobias, welcome and thank you again for joining me.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be here. It's an honor. Hi.
Tobias, man,
I'm a bit nervous. English. My English isn't the best. I hope everybody can understand me.
Hey, we've got something in common. My English isn't the best either. People have a hard time understanding me. We're good. We're good. One language everybody here who's listening can understand, regardless of accent, regardless of origin, is the love for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's talk about your fandom for the Buccaneers. First and foremost, being that you are in Germany, what part of Germany, by the way?
I'm from Munich.
You're from Munich, a native of Munich. So, a native of Munich, how did you first find out about the Buccaneers and how did your fandom come about?
I went for Christmas and New Year's vacation to Tampa and to Florida especially. But we were most of the time in Tampa or around Tampa, and it's where I watched my first NFL game on TV. It was a away game against the Bengals. I think it was a blowout win for the Buccaneers. And so it started. Was in 1998 to 1999. So the Tony Dungy years, Tampa 2 defense, and I fell in love with the defense and with the roughness of the sport and so on. Soccer was football, as we call it in Europe too, but soccer wasn't so physical, and I think that's something that really kicked me. I like the rawness and the physicalness of the sport.
Yeah. So you prefer the physicality over the finesse. The physicality of American football over the finesse of soccer.
Definitely, but I'm a soccer fan too. So
soccer. You know, we got the World Cup coming up starting tomorrow. I like watching soccer as well. I'm probably like you, maybe when you started watching American football. I don't know most of the rules when it comes to soccer. However, I can watch soccer and enjoy it for like the atmosphere, for the crowd. I know when a big play is happening because I can see it. I don't understand the rules of everything that goes on. However, I can follow the game enough to enjoy it, especially with a couple whiskeys and beer around me and all that stuff.
The same way we enjoy soccer and football. Me, but I know all the other German Buccaneers fans too. So
So you fell in love with the Bucks first experience on vacation. You basically stumbled upon them and that's back in 98, 99, right? So right when the Bucks actually started hitting their popular, they're pretty much at their prime popularity wise after Tony Dungy and the rest of his after he got his team, all those guys together. So cool. So you started out there. How did you end up trying to and I guess that's around the time too that the internet, around 2 years later, the internet pretty much became a thing. How did you follow the Buccaneers between that time, the first time you first saw them on vacation in person, and then following them when you got back home to Germany?
Mostly over the internet. So I watched for game reports and so on, and yeah, that's about all. There wasn't a chance for me to see the games because internet wasn't as good as it is now, and we didn't have free games. So as you only could watch the Super Bowl on free TV every year since I think 1993 or something like that, and I watched the Super Bowl since 1999 every year, and
well, yeah, that's kind of similar to my whole story as well. I'm even though I'm here in the States, I grew up as a Bucks fan in a different state in which we didn't have coverage of the Buccaneers either. So before the internet became around, I had to watch, I only saw like the Bucks maybe once, twice a week when they showed like highlight clips when the Bucks were actually doing well. Like that was kind of the same thing. Like we didn't have like a local group who banded together and went for the Buccaneers, kind of like what you have now, like a bunch of factions all over the world now. It was just kind of like I'm literally the only person I know from my hometown who's a Buccaneers fan. I'm like 10 hours away, so that was it.
Okay,
cool. So you followed the team. Were you able to make it to any more games after your initial one before the Munich game?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
So
never been to America since.
Oh man. Okay. What guy?
No. Just don't know why. Just didn't had the time. I think normally we are on vacation and in summer, and NFL doesn't play in summer, so
yeah.
That's
but that's awesome though, man. So basically you went to 2 home games in your Bucks fandom, like and 2 big games too, because even back in 99, 98, 99, I didn't make it to my first game until 10 years later, man. I didn't make it to my first game.
No, I wasn't at the game. I watched it. Only watched it on TV. No, I watched it on television because it was a away game at Cincinnati.
Oh, that's right. I apologize.
So this was my first game, the Munich game. My first ever Buccaneers game I attended. My first ever NFL game I attended.
I misheard you.
Sorry.
I misheard you. Oh no, it's not your fault. I just misheard you. I thought that you attended the game. Okay, so your first NFL game was the first Munich, was one of the biggest games in NFL history. Like it was that big, man. It was huge.
Yeah, it was really huge.
Wow,
it was totally crazy. I never thought that Munich could, or that Germany could host a regular season NFL game. Maybe I thought, okay, maybe, damn it, how's it called? The 3 games before the regular season starts.
the preseason games. Right?
Yeah, I thought maybe a preseason game will come to Germany sometime. Isn't it possible? I thought, but a regular season game then in my hometown, and my favorite team is coming and is the home team, so it was totally crazy. And the weekend was Munich was so packed. There were more people than to the Oktoberfest. Not at all, but for one day. So it was really I think there were over 1 million people in the city.
Man, that's
over 1 million visitors. Easy. Over 1 million visitors in a city just on Saturday.
That is so. I mean, basically, what that is for that's literally what it is, like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which again is the biggest game of the year. I went to Tampa for the Super Bowl 2020 when the Bucks won. I didn't go to the game. I went to the because this was when COVID was around. I actually had the chance to go to the game, and I just didn't feel like going. It was a bit of a mess. It was a kind of a scary mess. But the way that the crowds, how huge the crowds get during the Super Bowl. Now I've done Super Bowls twice before, like just been in the city and actually did like production work or something like that. It's huge. So the economic impact is major for whatever city it goes to. So, like, you saying like 1,000,000+ visitors and so forth, man. And I know what they were costing, like the tickets were costing to get over there. Like, they were pretty reasonable tickets travel wise to get from Tampa to Germany. And there's a lot of people I know who actually made the trip. And I saw a couple of Q&As as well, too. A lot of American fans having Q&As and talking to a lot of other German fans. Gene from Book What You Heard. I remember I saw he had
I went out with him. Yeah, we spent the whole Friday together.
Really?
Gene
Okay.
ran they dressed themselves, came to the city, and we went to Hofbrauhaus and laid on to a steakhouse and hang out the whole Friday evening.
That's awesome. So you got to meet. So you listen to his podcast, I'm sure. So you kind of familiar with his podcast and a few other people who were there. You actually got to meet Rondé Barber, Hall of Fame, should be Hall of Fame, Buccaneers cornerback. Yeah. How was that experience meeting him?
It was great. They have scheduled a meet and greet and a signing hour with him and Mike Alstott on Friday, but in the evening. And I was there to around 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. with a friend of mine and just hanging around in the Hofbrauhaus with other Buccaneers fans from all over the country, all over the world. And Ronnie and Mike just sat on the table next to us, talked, drank some beer, and we just went over, asked them for an autograph, to sign something and so on, and make a picture, and they were totally cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've met Rondé once. I met Mr. Barber one time. It was just because I was shooting a little commercial or whatever with him. He's one of the nicest cats, man. He's always been one of my favorites since I started being a fan. Since watching the BUCS, he's always been a fan. I've always been a fan. Who is your favorite player? Do you have a favorite player at all? BUCS history?
BUCS history is Warren Sapp. He's my number one. I fell in love with the Buccaneers because of Warren and the Tampa 2 defense, but he was the face. For me, it was the face of the defense. I know he wasn't, and I know Rondé and Lynch and all the others had a huge impact too. But for me, it was Warren Sapp. It's my favorite all time.
I agree. He was my favorite as well. He was that was my guy. That was quite literally my dude. That's who. Same thing. I actually started watching the BUCS because of the season before he got there with Hardy Nickerson. So Hardy Nickerson was the guy who I started watching the BUCS for, but Warren Sapp and Derrick Brooks is how I ended up staying.
Best draft class ever.
Oh yeah,
best draft class ever. Buccaneers draft class. Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome cats. So let's get to your experience. The experience at the game, first NFL game. Can you even go back and recount the entire day? Like, how did the day? Matter of fact, the weekend. Okay. You hit me with the whole weekend. How did the weekend go for
you? Friday started with just joined all the football fans in Munich, in the city, hang around with some of them, with Gene from Buck What You Heard especially, and all the other guys who just went to the Hofbrauhaus, trying to soak it all in, the atmosphere, meet fans, and Friday was a bit smooth, wasn't packed, it wasn't totally packed, but it was just chilling, hanging around, having a good time. Saturday, the Buckaholics made a party.
Yeah.
So it should have been the introduction party of the Germany chapter, I think, but don't know what happened. Doesn't matter. So we had a party with around 200 BUCS fans in the Hofbrauhaus, and so that was cool with BUCS UK, Buccaneers fan club from the Cayman.
Wow.
From Cayman Island was there, and Gene was there. Guy from France. Maybe you know his pictures. He's walking around with a huge coat and a pirate hat and so on.
What was the name again?
I think his name is Frankie. He's from France.
Okay. I think I know you. I think I may have seen. I think I may have seen photos. I don't think I've followed him or know him personally.
Yeah, but Saturday was totally crazy because the city was way too full. There were way too many people. You have to wait outside of the Hofbräuhaus and in line to come in for, I think, 20 minutes.
Wow! So they put a cap on the time that you actually spend. Wow!
It's totally crazy. Hofbräuhaus were full. All the other pubs and so on, they were packed too. Everybody says, oh, well, way too many people. So it was a bit chaotic to get something to drink, to get a table, get seated and so on. Yeah, it wasn't cool. But yeah. I think nobody could have ever imagined that so many people would come to Munich for a football game. But,
wow. Yeah. So let me stay on that for 1 second. So that's a great. Is that a good problem to have? Is that something that you think that's a good problem to have when you have that many people there for that kind of excitement? Or you think that when the BUCS, or not the BUCS, but when the NFL comes back, there has to be like some kind of restructuring for like the businesses to make sure that they're not overwhelmed?
I think the businesses never thought of such amount of people, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be prepared, proper prepared for the next time. I'm pretty sure, because normally they can handle such a huge crowd because of the Oktoberfest. So we know huge crowds, but yeah, I think they just thought, okay, it's just a football game. Let's treat it like let's do the same like it's a soccer game, like Bayern Munich home game or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, way more people. So many fans without a ticket who just wanted to join the experience and be a part of the weekend and of this great weekend. Really great. And I know so many football fans in Germany, but I never thought there was so many. That's totally crazy.
So you probably end up meeting a lot of new friends or some new fans you didn't know who were in Germany. You probably end up meeting a lot of them as well, right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Normally we're a small group. We have a WhatsApp group. We're just I think 15 people, 15 diehard hardcore Buccaneers fans. We talk to each other nearly every day or something. Yeah. You write something in the WhatsApp group or something like that. But I never thought that there's so many other Buccaneers fans. That's such a huge crowd of people, and so many Buccaneers fans wearing the BUCS gears, but most of them had Brady jerseys. Okay, yeah.
Right. Now I know you're a real Buccaneers fan because you got the same look that I have when you go to like the Raymond James, when you go to like the home games in Tampa. Yeah. That's what you see. You see a bunch of blue jerseys and half and half jerseys and all.
Yeah, those half and half jerseys we had.
Oh my God!
How many? Way too many.
They should be banned. I don't know who's making them, but they should be banned ASAP.
Right,
and
so all those Brady and Gronk fanboys who just came from New England over because Brady joined the Buccaneers. So.
Temporary fans. I mean, we'll enjoy them. We'll enjoy the quiet ones and the cool ones when we can. But my goodness, it's a big deal. It's crazy. All right, so cool. So continue with the story. I apologize. I held you up there. I just want to get that information out there to. For myself and for other people to kind of understand how the impact of like a swelling crowd can be a good thing, a great thing for a lot of businesses. Also for like a lot of locals, you being a native, it can also be a bit of a hindrance and a little bit of a shock when you have to, take a step back and not do things the way you normally do them, in a comfortable manner when you got a lot of people coming in. So.
Yeah, it was okay.
Right.
Yeah,
nothing egregious, nothing crazy. It was just a lot.
Everything okay. Right. Sunday was crazy. I think the NFL didn't organize it very well around the stadium. They said there's a tailgate outside and something like that. And in the end, there was just NFL experience things like you can throw, you can catch, vertical jump, blah, blah, blah. I think 2 NFL stores outside.
Oh, 2 of them. Okay.
But there was a huge queue for all these things. Really huge. So you have to wait. Somebody told me he stood in line for 1.5 hours to get to the store just to buy some merchandise. And the biggest problem was there was nothing to drink or eat outside. I think there were 4 food trucks for a huge area, just 4 food trucks. And I think, that's about all where you can get something to eat or to drink for more than one.
Yeah, that's
more than
kind of
100,000
shocking.
people. Yeah, it's just totally stupid.
Well, you know what? I mean, so just thinking about the queue line and everything, like to get into everything, like the NFL experience, like I was telling you, I went to the NFL experience in Tampa when the Super Bowl was there. It was similar to the same thing. If you didn't get there in the early time, what have you, there was always a queue for everything that you went to. A lot of the times they'd be relatively light, depending on what time of day you end up going to these events. But yeah, there's normally a queue, especially when in the later half of the day, when everybody's away from work and everybody's, the kids are out of school and stuff like that. That's when you saw like everybody then. It was like an hour and a half wait just to get through, like to see like the memorabilia and all the, the jerseys and the helmets and all that stuff. Like it's like 45 minutes to an hour wait to get through that queue line as well. So that's kind of typical. But the food thing, they're not having food trucks out there, or only having 4.
Only 4 food trucks for more than 100,000 people.
God,
and there was enough space, or there is enough space, and I know the area around the stadium because I went to the games years before, to soccer games as often.
Yeah.
So, but they just put 3 of them at the end near the stadium, and 1 of them and just directly at the end of the underground. So when you come out of the underground, there was 1, and next to the stadium were 3, and that's about all. Wow. But all the space in between, there was only NFL experience things, but there was so much space where nothing. So they had the chance to make a real tailgate outside, but don't know why. They totally messed it up.
Wow. That's I bet they won't make that mistake again next year.
I hope.
Whenever they go back.
I hope so.
Because that's man, especially with all that beer flowing. You're like, man, you gotta have something. You gotta have something to hold that down, man. And so Sunday they don't do the tailgate right. Crowd is huge. The build up to the game, I was watching on the NFL Network. I woke up super early in the morning to watch everything. I was watching the build up, and there were people there, like a normal game. There were people there hours before the game and everything. There were people who were making their way inside the stadium way earlier. A lot of times that's to the the stadium's discretion when they let people into the stadium. But there were people going inside the stadium really, really early for like all the pregame stuff. How long did you end up waiting to get into the game, and how was the entrance and all that? Just making your way in. How safe do you feel like that was made for you, and how easy of a move was it for you to get to and from the stadium, starting with going into the stadium?
So the way into the stadium was nearly the same problem with all the experience around. You have to wait because there wasn't enough personnel. I think the detectors to check us, they were off for some time, so we had to wait a half an hour more, so something like that. It was we tried to get in around 1:30 p.m. and we were in the stadium nearly an hour later. In the stadium was the same picture as outside. Have to wait, stand in line, wait for everything. go to the toilet, get something to eat, to drink. But there were more opportunities to get something to eat or drink, so it was better.
That is pretty typical of a normal, I guess, normal American football game. To my experience, it's pretty typical. If and when you make your way back to Tampa, you can come. I'm formally invite you to come to a game with me. If you ever go, it'll be somewhat of the same. It's always just at least some bit of a wait. Again, it just depends on how early you get in or whatever. But it's always something. But
okay,
yeah, yeah. So I don't think so. It may not be as bad as you think. Probably because it's the first time going to an NFL game. But yeah, generally it's always a wait. When I go to the home games in Tampa, and I have to drive 6.5 hours to go to the game. I'm in a different state. When I go to the games, and if the game starts at 1:00, I'm in the stadium by 12:15, 12:20, because I'm beating the line. I'm beating the queue to get ticketed into the game, and then I get in there with like 10, 15 minutes or 10 minutes most of the time. And then I'm just sitting in the stadium, going to the restroom before everybody else shows up, going to the concession stand before everybody else shows up. But if you make it and get into the stadium, like the game starts at 1:00, you get in there like 12:45, 12:50, 10 minutes before the game is supposed to start, it's going to be a hell of a long time to get through the queue because everybody's going to be there. Everybody's just packing up to get in right at the kickoff. And it's lines at the concession stands are really long a lot of times. And yeah, it's you have to, you'll learn to beat the traffic is basically what it comes down to. But
yeah, I know this from soccer. Yeah, I normally do it the same way. Be a bit early, maybe an hour before it starts, so everything's smooth and easy. But everyone tried it at the NFL game because there was nothing outside. Everybody wants something to eat and drink or go to the toilet and something like that. And because of this, everybody tried to get in early, and you had to wait again. So it was packed. I think 1.5 hours before the game. The half stadium was full.
That's what it felt like. That's exactly what it felt like on television. Anyways, I was like, man, it's amazing.
Everybody was totally hyped. They want to suck every minute in of it and just enjoy it. It was great.
Yeah, I was talking to another relatively, pretty much one of the biggest podcasters here who used to be a big podcaster, Derek Fournier from What the Buck, and I was just mentioning, like, I love watching the international games. The international games because everybody's excited pretty much like the entire game. It's like the Super Bowl, but better. But better. I actually want to say it's better, like that crowd experience, or at least the crowd on television seems like a better crowd than the Super Bowl games, because I know the people who are at the international games are actually excited to be watching the game and to be there. Whereas the Super Bowl, a lot of those tickets that get taken up are corporate, like people who are just just happy to be in the crowd more so than they're happy to be at the game, watching the game. But that crowd, man, again, that crowd was so hype on television, again, from like an hour and a half before the game, before kickoff. What was, when you finally got, because where were your seats? I think I know where your seats were, but for everybody else, where were your seats?
In the third row behind the end zone, one of the end zones. So directly next to the end zone. we could smell the grass. You could high five the players. If possible, so if you would have, some Seattle players came and shook hands with some Seattle fans. So it was great.
That was awesome, man. Yeah, I saw your photos. I saw you and a couple friends taking a big group selfie. I said a group selfie. So you got like great seats, and I love the end zone view myself. My seats are end zone seats as well at Raymond James Stadium, right under the pirate ship. I love that view. Like that, for some reason, for me, that view, I don't think there's another view better than that view. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of times there's not like a lot of bad seats anywhere, but that view for me is perfect. How did you enjoy it? Would you change it if you could have?
Depends on the game, I would say. just a regular season game from 2 other teams, I would enjoy seats a bit higher and around midfield just to see the whole game, to see everything and have a better view on the plays and something like that. But for a Buccaneers game, you just want to be as near as possible to the action, and that's great. It was really cool.
That's awesome. So you're talking about the field view there. What about the screens in the stadium? In the stadium, from television, it seemed like there were two.
There are two
big jumbo screens, one on each end zone, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and they were big enough for you to look up, and when you couldn't see everything, then you could just look up and see everything from the television.
Yeah.
Cool. What was it? So you watched the game, or you're watching the game. Like, what stood out to you? Was there anything that you saw live in the game that you didn't recognize or realize was happening while watching it on television?
I think the players look huge. So if you see them in person, or if you just see them on the television, you can't imagine how huge or big these guys really are. I know you read all the measurements and something like that, but you just need to see it in person. And that was is it Puna? I think Puna Ford from the Seahawks.
He used to play in Texas. Yeah, it's a huge dude.
Yeah, he's huge. He's massive, and he's warming up in front of me, and we all said this. Fuck, this guy is so a mountain of man. Oh, come on. Oh, damn it. That's cool. Just to see that in person.
And just a little bit bigger than soccer players. Just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. So when you're watching the game, you're seeing how big these players are in front of you. You see how big and fast they look and all that. Like, being able to like watch a play develop. Were you able to like pay attention to the game, or were you actually able to pay attention to a lot of what was going on in the game? Was the excitement taking over you so much that like everything just felt like you weren't really dialed in? Because that's like I'm trying to remember my first game, and I remember like just being so overwhelmed by all the stuff that was going on around me. I'm like, man.
Yeah, most of the time I was really overwhelmed from the crowd and all the atmosphere, but I tried to follow as good as possible. The trick play with Brady outside was directly in front of my end zone.
I was about to say that was in your end zone.
That was directly in front of us, and we're standing there, so checking. And is this Brady? No, it can't be. No, that's Brady. And my friend just going nuts next to me, just they're gonna throw to you. And I'm just standing there and said, "Oh no, come on, man, don't do this, please, don't, no." And then he slipped. Terry Boone with the interception. My friend just pissed himself. They found it so fucking funny. But yeah, I'm just yelling around, screaming, "No, you can't do this!" We had the chance to close the game out, and so. But yeah. I think it was 14-3 at this point.
14-3 is exactly.
Yeah, and then we had the chance to get 3 scores away. You need to. Yeah, we knew Seahawks getting the ball back for the start of second half. Another touchdown and game is over, nearly over. So, but
right,
yeah, this bullshit trick play. Just don't know why they tried it. Just for I think just for Germany.
Did it twice?
Yeah, we were twice in this formation, but only once they threw the ball. So yeah,
I'm like, what the. Yeah, I get into it. No, I was going to say I was going to get into it later, but it was at that point that I'm like, yeah, I'm done with Byron Leftwich. I'm done. Yeah, and I've had a gripe against that offense for the past 3 years, and I was like, that's I can't see where somebody would look at him seriously as an offensive coordinator outside of Tampa.
Or if you follow the talk from the NFL, the beat writers think he has a legit chance to get a head coaching job somewhere. I don't see it. I don't get it.
No, the beat writers that say anything that make you that just
clickbait.
make you
Yeah,
say
I
so.
know.
It's a lot of clickbait. And there's nobody. I tell you what, this is what I'll do. I was going to save this for a different conversation on a different podcast, but just talking about the game, not the entire game, but just talking about that specific area of Byron Leftwich and that play calling. Byron Leftwich in that one moment basically encapsulated exactly why he wouldn't be a good head coach or a good OC. It's literally don't have the self-awareness. He doesn't have a self-awareness. He didn't have a feel for the game. And he has no management of the game. It was all in that one play call, or two play calls. It was one thing to get to do the play call once and then not have it go your way and then try it again on the exact same drive. Just idiotic. He has no self-awareness. Like every game that this man is coaching, he's literally coaching for his reputation and literally coaching to save his job. Every single game. And a lot of people won't agree with that, but that's fine. They'd be wrong. But that man
I'm with you. I
he
see
would,
it.
yeah, like it is no way anybody outside of Tampa is looking at this man and think, hey, he's head coach material. I don't care what Bruce Arians tells you. That bullshit that he tried to spread is garbage. And I literally have to relate it to, sadly enough, another terrible gamble in Tampa with Jameis Winston. For years, people kept trying to say that Jameis Winston was this or was that if he had the right players around him, if he had this and that. I'm like, look at what he's done with what he's got. And he's done terribly. Jameis Winston had offensive guys like Mike Evans. He had guys like Chris Godwin. He had Ryan Jensen. He had, a solid left tackle, even though people swore he wasn't. And Donovan Smith. He had everything that you needed to make a good quarterback a good quarterback. He had everything. Everything wasn't perfect, but he had enough to be solid. And what he did with what he had around him was trash. Byron Leftwich.
He never developed.
Never developed.
He was good in his rookie year. I thought, okay, yeah.
He had moments that he wasn't great.
Everybody knew that he has his flaws and he throws many interceptions. Everybody knew it before. Mm-hmm. He did the same in college. It's okay.
Yeah.
But you think, okay, he comes to the NFL, right coaching, develop, get bit more feeling for the pocket, better decision making and something like that. But he never grew. No, never grew. He just was the same player since Seminoles years, and throwing picks after picks after picks just because he can't go down and throw the ball away. Don't know what's up with him.
Yeah. And I relate him to the Byron Leftwich deal because he never learned his lesson. He never learned his lesson because he got bailed out all the time. Byron Leftwich has been in the same predicament. Byron Leftwich there's things he don't have this year, but he's like his. He doesn't have his all world center. He doesn't have Ali Marpet. He doesn't have. That's it, pretty much. Everything else he has. He doesn't have the center he was used to, but Robert Hainsey, our second-year center, is doing fine. There's no issue there. He has an issue with his left guard. He had an issue with his left guard.
Nick Leverett looking great.
Right, Nick Everett is looking really good, damn good. He should be applauded for his effort coming in and doing what he's done. So but again, the whole deal is look at what Byron Leftwich has done with what he has, and it's literally been 3 years. Even when he had Marpet, even when he had Ryan Jensen at center and Rob Gronkowski and all these other weapons, this offense with Byron Leftwich under Bruce Arians, it has always looked pedestrian when it comes to them playing any team that has any talent on defense. That has been the case literally since they walked through the door. And that one play, I have to drive it right to like that one play shows again what would you do with what you have. What you do with what you have is what makes you, and what you do continuously, repetitively, all the time. What you do as a practice is who you are, and what he showed in that one play just showed that he was not ready to be he can't even be called a good OC. You can't do it. It's been 3 years in the making. There's no evidence of him being an OC other than the fact that the Bucs won a Super Bowl, and the fact that the Bucs won a Super Bowl is literally predicated on the defense, not the offense.
Yep.
So I mean, it sucked. I don't know who called that play. I don't know if it was Brady. I don't know who was like, hey, let's try this. I don't know who the hell that play worked on in practice, but they need to be fired. It was a bad look. I hated that play. That was like a stain. That was a stain on that whole experience in Germany. So cool. All right, so let's get past that play. I'm sorry we had to detour and talk about that play. So we'll get past that play. What else? Like, give me more on the experience there, man. Like that crowd never stopped buzzing. Like, what was that like to be in a crowd that's that big and that wild?
I'm used to that.
You're used to it from soccer.
Yeah, we're used to that from soccer. It's normal for us that the crowd is loud. We try to be loud all the whole game. Yeah, so that's what we try to do.
Yeah, I mean I'm not used to that being in a Tampa crowd. If you ever come to a game in Tampa, it can get quiet. It can get quiet.
You're getting the feeling even on TV screens. Yeah, so
yeah,
and you follow some guys on Twitter. So you read. I think it was from Sama or one of the loose cannons. Just said they tweeted we had to sit down at home at a whole game. That's totally crazy. Why? You should sit down, be quiet, or something like that. I had the same experience.
Really?
In this game, yeah. This guy behind me with his girlfriend and then two couple, I think they just wanted to be part of the experience, but they weren't into football. And he asked me to sit down. I didn't know how to behave, but I sat down because I didn't want to ruin their experience because they couldn't see anything. But I said, hey, look around, everybody's standing up next to you, but no, they're just sitting there and said, no, we don't want to stand up. No, that's not. We paid for a seat, and we want to sit. So you have to sit too because we can't see anything with you in the front.
Now, I've had that experience as well, and I actually admonish some fans because there's a lot of times, man, it's an appropriate time to stand. Sometimes, I mean, there's sometimes there's an appropriate time to stand, and sometimes it's like, okay, you can sit down. Like being in the end zone where you guys were sitting, being in the end zone, you guys are like lower level. You guys are like lower level end zone there. It's like, shit, you could stand or you should stand the whole damn game just about. I mean, because you're that low. It doesn't even make a difference. If you're standing, it doesn't make a whole difference. If you're a little bit higher, again, my seat's in the end zone as well, but if you're a little bit higher, like in the middle of the row, like there's a point in the game where where you see past everybody, where the ball moves down on the other side of the field. It's like, okay, all right, cool. Everybody can sit down now. Everybody's watching the screen. Like, chill out, sit down. Because we get that issue a lot at the home stadium where we're like, okay, man, like they're on the other side of the field. Why the hell are you standing? Just you can sit down. But in your world and that screen, I was looking at, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a standing. You can stand all day to watch that game because I don't know if those screens are that huge that you can see everything, but standing is fine. It seems like, especially in the end zone, you already got your view kind of blocked a little bit by the goalpost, right?
It was okay. Wasn't so. No, we could see everything. Yeah, it was good.
Cool. So, all right. So I gotta ask this question, man. This is kind of funny for me to see, or actually made a comment about it on the broadcast. They were selling beer by the pint. Is that right? They weren't selling single serve beers. Like they were selling them like by the pitcher or something like that. Is that right?
No, that's only in the VIP area and something like that. But for us, no, it was just a typical cup.
Okay, so they overstated that. I was like, wait a minute. because I don't think I saw a shot in the crowd where somebody actually had like a pint or a pitcher or anything like that. But they mentioned twice like, yeah, they're selling beer by, basically a fucking pitcher. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a whole lot of money wasted there. That's crazy. So what was my question was, what was the what you guys have normal food at German cuisine, what have you, at a soccer game? Like, did they do any kind of Americanized food or anything like this for this game, or was anything not at the stadium that you got? Was anything at the stadium that you guys weren't used to having at the stadium, or anything like that?
Burgers. I think burgers were the only thing, but the rest was same.
Normal. Okay.
Normal.
So there aren't normally there aren't burgers there.
No, I don't think so.
Really? Okay.
Years before, so when I went to soccer games, there weren't any burgers. You had hot dogs, something like that, or pretzels.
Okay, normal shit there. That's something. That's crazy as hell. Yeah, because I was just thinking, okay, man, let's see if they try to really, really, really shake this thing up and try to make it so that they get like the American side of every damn thing, like bringing a different kind of cuisine.
No, I don't think this was. I don't think this would have been a plan for them. Or they would plan something like that because they want to make a Germany experience, especially Munich is a Bavarian experience for the NFL.
Yeah.
So
well, huge game. Talk of the game after the fact was there. How much longer everybody stayed after the game? Like after how long you remember staying at the game after the final whistle?
30 minutes.
Really?
It was cold. It was really cold.
Trying to get back to the house. Yeah, because and again, just kind of relating it to the home games in Tampa. Like you're lucky if you can be there 5 minutes after the game because they're kicking you out of the stadium as soon as they can. Everybody's trying to get home. Like,
yeah, for a normal home game would be the same in soccer. So the game is over. Maybe some of the hardcore fans staying a bit longer and cheering, so on and talking a bit. But normally after the game, everybody tries to get home or in the city.
Okay. So
drink something. Yeah.
So they were just nice enough to make an exception for this and be like, okay, guys, let's just
they planned something. They had a show afterwards, a live show from the stadium with former players, Sebastian Vollmer from the Patriots and Kuhn from he's a former Giant. He scored the first ever German. He was the first German who scored a touchdown, a defensive tackle thing for the Giants with a fumble recovery in the end zone.
Wow.
And yeah, they had some program planned and watched the red zone over the jumbotrons together, something like that. Yeah. So
okay, cool. And you actually sent me a video from your perspective, the POV of the ending of the game and everybody singing Country Roads and Sweet Caroline and all that. And everybody just fell in love with that whole deal and begging Tampa to want to make that a new tradition in Tampa. I'm actually against that. So we'll see how that goes. Leave that in Germany. That's Germany's thing. Let Germany have that. Let Germany have that moment. Let Munich have that moment. Why would you try to package that and resell it? Just let that moment be that moment. It was great to watch. I'm sure everybody in attendance, it was great to be a part of. But I mean,
yeah, that was really, really great. But I had a bit of problem with it because it started at the 2-minute warning, so that's fine, that's cool. Yeah. But later on, there were the last play of the game. You know, White rushing for the first down, new series of first down. You can hear. Didn't get something. It was just the song was over this. The whole crowd just took this moment away from us Buccaneers fans to really cheer and suck it in the win in Germany. You know, our team won and we didn't really get it because just was.
Right.
don't know.
They hijacked the moment. See? They
Yeah.
hijacked the damn moment. But no, that was and again, you like on the broadcast, it was like, holy damn, you
Yeah,
could
Rich
hear it
Eisen
almost over
and
the commentary. I'm like, holy shit, you can hear it over the commentary. Like it is that loud. It is that crazy.
we
But then
love to
that is,
sing, yeah.
hey, I love it. Again,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and Country Roads is a popular song in Germany, so everybody knows the words. Yeah, it's really.
I had no idea because I heard it being played over the PA system. So I heard it in the game. Like I heard over the PA system. I'm like, okay, that's where the cue came from. So why did they cue up this song? But how is that a popular song there like that?
I don't know. I really don't know how it gets so popular, but how it got so popular. But it's played at the Oktoberfest as well. All the bands know this song, and we love to sing it. Don't know why. It's the same with Sweet Caroline. Everybody knows the words, the lyrics. Everybody sings along. We listen to if you hear German radio, 90% of the songs are English songs. Most of them from America. Some British songs, of course, Beatles, Stones, something like that. But normally we listen to American music or English music.
Yeah. My growing up, one of my best friends, she's from Germany. She's from Frankfurt, and so I used to talk to her like a lot, like going from pretty much like middle school, 8th grade. Well, it's like 9th grade. I apologize, like 9th grade, middle school, growing up to past the time that we were both in basically in college, what have you. So I would talk to her in Germany or what have you, and I would hear her like playing music in the background, or hear her like her family, somebody playing music in the background, and sure enough, it'd be like American or English songs, what have you. I'm like, okay. I mean, it makes sense, and it never struck me in any kind of weird kind of way because I knew that she was, she spent time in America, but I would hear her out with her friends in the car or whatever while she's on the phone with me, and like again, like half the songs I would hear in the background would be like English songs, but it would be a mix. Like I'd hear like German that I could understand and a lot of it I couldn't. But I'm like, man, like what kind of radio is that? A mix that you put together? It's like, no, that's just normal radio.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a normal radio. Yes, we grew up with English songs.
Yeah.
I grew up with Phil Collins music. My mom was a huge Phil Collins fan and listened to Phil Collins all the time. Yeah.
My gosh, I actually had the chance. I actually met Phil Collins.
Oh, that's great.
One of my favorite moments ever. I met him. He did the soundtrack for this Disney movie called Brother Bear, I believe it was.
Yeah. We know. Yeah.
We shot like the behind the scenes DVD video of him talking about the making of the music and all that stuff at Disney in Orlando, Florida. Very, very nice guy. I love that dude. I was such a big fan of him growing up as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
Super cool.
Had the Genesis tapes and Phil Collins tapes, and so yeah, that's the music I grew up with.
That's super cool cat. So Country Roads is a big popular song there. Sweet Caroline is apparently a popular song everywhere. Everybody, if you drink anything, Sweet Caroline is gonna be playing at a bar, no matter where you go. And I was surprised to hear Sweet Caroline being played there. So I'm like, all right. But again, they play that and they play that sometimes at the BUCS games too.
Okay. Sure.
And I'm like, oh God. And then I get annoyed about it. I'm like, man, come on. What the hell Sweet Caroline got to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man?
Yeah, it don't fit for the game, but I don't in bars or something like that. Sure. It's great to sing.
I know, right? But if you know what, if you do that, I think they should give away like free beer or something like that to get everybody into it. If you want to have a bar atmosphere, do some bar stuff. Give them a free shot. Give them a free any damn thing to get me involved with Sweet Caroline. That was my take. So cool, man. That was a great experience in Munich, man. I'm glad you got to experience it, especially for your first game. That's historical freaking game, one that nobody's going to forget anytime soon. BUCS, we got to 5-5,
yes,
which we
finally
Yeah, my guy. We got back to 500, man. Which I feel like we should be so much better than 5-5. Because we're just looking at. What do you think?
We should be better with these players, of course, but the games, when you watch the games, you say, okay, we lost, and it don't felt like we should have won any of those games we lost. Maybe the Baltimore game, but the rest, it was really, really bad. It was really bad football.
For me, it's just the Kansas City game. Just the Kansas City game is the only game that both sides played bad enough to lose in the Kansas City game.
Okay. Well,
the Baltimore game, I feel like we should not have been what we were in the Baltimore game. I didn't think. If I look at the way the game unfolded, the defense was doing so enough for 3 quarters to win that Baltimore game. If the offense can do anything, substantial.
Like the offense was the same in every game. Expect the Chiefs game. Chiefs game was the only game the defense couldn't handle the offense. Okay, it's the Chiefs. Mahomes, all the receivers, they are way too talented to slow them down. It's really hard. You need a perfect day like we had in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but the other games, defense locked the opponent's offense down for most of the time.
Yeah,
but if you don't score, you can't win.
You can't win.
Way too easy.
Exactly, and I mean, so far at this point, with 5-5 out of the 10 games that we've played, the BUCS defense have held opponents to 21 points or under. Yeah. The NFL average score for each team, the scoring average is 22 points. The BUCS offense has scored 21 points or more once, I think, twice, maybe.
Dallas was no. Dallas was 19.
Yeah, we only scored 21 points in the game in Munich. We only scored 21 points there. We haven't scored 22
Chiefs against the Chiefs too.
Yeah, it was too late. Too bad. And plus, remember, we gave away 14 points in that game. Remember, we got 14. It was 17 points or 14 points that they got basically off turnovers and got the ball like first drive.
Yeah, muffed kickoff.
The fumble.
The fumble.
Yeah, it was a fumble on that. Rashad White there. We're sitting at 5-5. We should have a better record. Should have played a lot better. Specifically on the offensive side of the ball. I'll go into that on the next podcast, what have you. How do you feel about the BUCS going forward? What do you think happens for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to propel themselves forward and into the playoffs from this point in the season with the bye week now? We got 7 more games. What do you think we improve on, and what do you think the possibility of us improving on and stuff?
There's enough space to improve, especially in the offense. We can get better. We must get better because the next games aren't easy. You play the Browns. I'm not scared of the Browns offense, but the defense is good. I mean, they have one of the best pass rushers, and if everyone is healthy, the defensive backs are good, really good. So it's going to be hard to score against them. Defense can hold us in the game most of the time, I'm pretty sure, but you have to score again. So same problem like before, but seems a bit more. The offense looked a bit better the last games, especially in Munich. So they clicked more. The running game clicked. It was really good against Seahawks. Didn't expect that, especially White. I mean, White was great, and on the other side of the ball, defense, you have to compensate the loss of Shaq Barrett. I don't know where you can get the pass rush from because the pass rushers didn't look good. JTS, okay, he had a sack against but we didn't had much pressure. It was the most of the time it was some stands with Devin White from the inside. It was just inside pressure from linebacker, but the other team's gonna know it later on. So they know White is the only factor in the pass rush, and they can take him out. I'm pretty sure. So Bowles need to be creative again.
Okay, all right. I think on defense, I think on start with the defensive side of the ball and getting pressure. What my boy Vita Vea right now? I think he's a sack. He's a sack leader. Now. I think he got 7.5.
6. I thought 6.5.
It might be 6.5. It may be 6.5. So I think they can get pressure down. I think a lot of this stuff too that they do, what they did against the Seattle team. I figured they were going to do that to Seattle on the defensive side of the ball. That was the first time Seattle has faced like a really good defense, basically since week 1, and that was something I had pointed out before. I don't know if I wrote about it or I just put it out on Twitter, but I figured they were going to do that to that offense. But I think the defense can get pressure on the ball without Shaq Barrett. JTS has been I hate saying JTS. I don't know why.
Yeah, you can call him JTS. I call him.
I don't know why I say that. But
it's easier than trying Shinka. It's just JTS. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to go with JTS. So JTS for me, I think he's been a really pleasant surprise. He's like going back to week 5, even though the sack numbers haven't been up there. That dude has been whipping ass on that offensive line. Like he's been killing. Like he's been giving these left and right tackles. He's been giving them hell. And this is from like we've had 3 games, I believe, that I watched in person after week 5. I've been every home game this season, and just watching these games in live, and I'm just paying attention. Like my eyes are just drawn to him, and it's normally drawn to like Vita Vea in the interior of the line, but I've been watching Tryon Shoyinka just murder dudes like every other rep. Like he's been getting after it, man. He's been having like a hell of a season. Again, the sack numbers aren't always there, but the pressure he's getting on these quarterbacks, man. I'm impressed, and I don't even say that a lot. I'm actually really impressed with what he's been doing.
Okay, so I have to watch a bit more of JTS. I have to focus more on JTS in the next game.
If it draws your eye to him, man, just try to pay attention to him a little bit. He's an impressive dude, man. Like I'm pleasantly surprised with how fast he's come up. He's doing really well. On the offensive side of the ball, I don't know how we break 3 years of bad coaching, 4 years of bad practicing. Like it's now a bad habit. We, like you mentioned it, like Cleveland Brown, like the next opponents, the Browns, the Saints, the 49ers, none of these cats are going to be easy when it comes to what the offense can do to them. 49ers have a decent defense. Cleveland, whatever. New Orleans has always given these
Ain't have our number.
And it sucks that we have to say that, but normally it's because of what they do on defense. Yeah. Basically because they have a solid defense and our offense can't do a damn thing against decent defenses. I mean, we got 4 years of tape of showing just how simplistic the offense actually is. Like we don't do anything to cater the game to the opponent. Like we don't take advantage of any of the stuff that the Saints aren't good at. But we, years ago, a couple years ago, we would say, hey, this should be an easy game. This should be an easy game. But the fact that we've put out so much bad film, so much bad play on offense, no defense is afraid of this offense anymore. It's all on tape. The blueprint, everything, it's all out there. Like there's nothing that anybody fears now. Like they have no reason to fear it. Like now, even the midgets that we used to dunk on have gotten big, and we're losing the games to defenses who have even talent there. We lost the game to the Steelers, who did not have talent. We lost games to the Carolina Panthers, who just nothing scored 3 points in the game. You know what I mean? And it's bad. Like we don't have an easy road unless the offense completely changes, and how it changes in the next 7 weeks to get rid of 7 years of bad. I'm not 7 years, but get rid of 4 years of bad play and putting out bad film. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how it happens.
I think we're gonna make it to the playoffs. We're gonna win enough games because the NFC South isn't really, isn't strong. We're on first seed with 500. So I don't think that anyone of the other teams wanna win the NFC South. Expect maybe the Saints, they would love to, but they're not capable of.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have in the playoffs. I don't think we gonna make something crazy. It's maybe wild card. Maybe with bit luck, you can get a nice team in the wild card round against the Giants or Cowboys again. But that's about all. I don't think that we can win or gonna start a run if the offense doesn't turn around in 180 degrees.
Yeah, I mean it's an uphill battle. I believe on that side of the ball. I don't believe it's impossible. I'm hoping for the best, obviously, but yeah, it is an uphill battle for the offense.
You have to get more creative. It's just we text in our German Buccaneers group the whole time that it's always a run. First down, you run. You run for inside for 1 or 2 yards, and then you try something deep. If it doesn't work, so it's third and long, and it's the same shit again. Everybody knows you have to go deep. Pocket is collapsing because our inside isn't really, so interior O-line isn't really good. It's okay. They look better in the last games with Leverett in. Hainsey developed a bit more. Shaq Mason is okay as a run blocker, but he's not good pass blocker. So especially against teams like Saints or 49ers again, they're coming through the inside and gonna just collapse the pocket from inside. And Brady hates it. Everybody hates it. And you have to throw the ball very quick away. And in the end, it's a dump off to Lenny or something like that. And
but what do you think about? Well, what do you think about just talking about the runs and everything? And I mean, I think statistically, the running on first down, I know it's become like a big deal, but I mean, I don't think it's the fact that we run the ball on first down is the issue. I think it's how we run the ball on first down the issue, and not just how.
Third and short or fourth and short. It's the same. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows what's happening. You send Lenny on left interior side, so between center and the left guard. Always try. Then everybody knows it. Even we know it. If we know it, the defense coordinator from the opponent knows it too. So,
how much of that do you think is how much of it do you think is Leonard Fournette, and how much of it do you think of it is how much of it do you think is the actual play call?
60-40. I would say 60% a play call thing, and 40 Fournette doesn't look like the same person.
Because when we look at Rachaad White and what Rachaad White did, and you mentioned it, Rachaad White ended up getting on there. He ended up getting on those first down runs and looked slightly different vision, different. He took something different if the first option wasn't there. He made something out of nothing if it wasn't there. So that vision, I think that vision kind of helps that play call too. And also, I mean, just stopping on that point right there too. Also, I go back to I used to pound the table hard for Ronald Jones because I said Ronald Jones can get from A to B pretty quickly, and that between Fournette and Ronald Jones, Fournette can get to that line of scrimmage and pass that line of scrimmage way faster than what Leonard Fournette does. Leonard Fournette tends to look like the home run. He looks for the home run. The big play every time. He's shuffling his feet, looking for a hole that isn't there, or staring at a hole, or runs into a defensive player. So Rachaad White now looks like that change of pace guy that Ronald Jones was. He's that guy who hits the hole fast. He makes his decision quickly, and he's up and he's gone. And he can break a couple tackles, when it comes about, or he can just shake people more than he breaks tackles. So the play calling is rudimentary. At best, a lot is pedestrian. Is like it's little a pattern that a lot of people see. So that sucks. but then also the player that you put in that position to run that play sucks too. Now I'm sorry, Fournette doesn't suck. It's just that he doesn't have the vision, to make something out of nothing. He should be like the change of pace back, I thought. Basically, literally going to last year, he should have been a change of pace back. Like, let your main guy shake the defense, move stuff around, and then let Fournette come in and hammer people and make them tired.
Yeah, that's his style of play. He seems like that. He never was a twitchy, quick runner. He was always the bulldozer, put in for the tough yards.
Yeah,
never had really a big play. No, he doesn't have the speed for a big play, for a home run play. No, he's just a guy, pound for pound, yard for yard, fighting through the defense. And yeah.
Now, funny enough, he was at one point. He was the guy who had the speed to do the home run stuff. That was back in college. That was back in college. In the NFL level, he's not running past cats like he used to. Like he has the speed to do it a lot of times, but he does the silly thing and actually looks for contact when he can run right past someone. He actually looks for contact. He seeks out contact. And again, that goes to my whole notion of his trying to make a highlight play. Like he'll have a guy dead to rights, as in like literally just him and the guy in front of him. He could go left or right and go right past the guy and never have to run into a safety or anything because he'd have a block down the field. He would choose. It seemed like he chose to go straight through a guy rather than go around him. That could be a vision thing. A lot of times that's what I'm thinking it is, because he doesn't have the vision to see past what's in front of him. He doesn't have the peripheral to make that happen. But it oftentimes it looks like he's seeking out contact, and that just doesn't bode well a lot of times when it comes to the NFL games. And you gotta manage clock, you gotta manage especially when you're not scoring like the BUCS aren't scoring. You gotta take as many yards as you can as fast as you can, and not try to make a personal highlight reel and shit.
Yeah,
it's kind of what I've got from him, anyways. But again, like the play call, we were talking about the play calling. And I agree with you. It does feel like a 60-40 deal. Like we know the pattern of the play call, and so do all opposing defenses, and it's going to be a tough deal to try to break that pattern there. But you guys, I say you guys are fans in Germany, you got to witness firsthand something that the BUCS haven't done well all year, or haven't done often all year, which was the play action, which the BUCS continuously, at least I want to say we did it at least 5 times. And the previous game, the BUCS ran like literally 10, 11 screens rather than the play action. So you guys got to see firsthand. You guys got to witness what I've been begging for all damn season. And it worked out well. And we didn't have to have like a dominant run game to start it, to start the play action. So we'll see if that carries on for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I hope so. Cool. We saw that is functional. You can move the ball with play action way better. Brady is better with play action. Everybody knows it. I think every quarterback is better.
Every quarterback, right? So but yeah, you don't have to have a dominant run game to start using play action. You can just use the threat of the run game to do a play action and just go. Especially again, like you and I are talking about this. We're talking about like everybody knows or thinks that we're gonna run the ball on first down. Why not run the play action on first down? So people collapse the freaking, they crack down and we just take it over the top. Why not do it? Why not?
Don't know. Just ask Byron.
It's craziness. Well, man, we got the whole second season coming up. Second half of the season coming up. 7 more games. 7 more times that you and fellow BUCS fans can join together and kind of embrace each other and hold on to each other for this wild ride to finish the season. I know you have the WhatsApp group. I believe you guys have a WhatsApp group that goes on, you and a few more friends out in Germany. Also, you have the Discord. You want to give out that Discord information to invite any other fellow German, European fans, anybody who wants to join in for you guys?
To look up for it, sorry, because we're not really active on Discord. That's the problem. Okay. Well, we just founded it because of the Corona years. and we made a watch along together, especially in the playoff run. So we sat at home and talked with each other as we watched the game. So we're not active in it.
Not much active. Is there a group that you guys do have that you want to give out information if you want to, or you want to have fellow BUCS fans reach out to you? How can they reach out to you? I know I've got your Twitter account.
Twitter is the easiest way, and we are working on something for German BUCS fans. It's in the making. It's only in the making. So we try to take this hype from the Munich game and this and build something up on it. But it's hard work. We have to figure out how to get maybe a homepage, a channel. Don't know how. For now, it's in the making. But if you follow me on Twitter, I will definitely keep you in touch with everything. And if there's something special happening, I'll post it.
All right. And you want to give these cats your Twitter address, actually your Twitter profile. You can reach Tobias Stark at TST1860. That's at T as in Tom, S as in S, damn it, T1860. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate, watching you. I watch your reactions on Twitter. I watch your conversations with other people back and forth on Twitter. And, I just appreciate having good fellow BUCS fans, people who enjoy the team, who actually are passionate about the team. And you're definitely a passionate cat, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you joining me this afternoon in Germany. It's about 3 or 4 o'clock there now.
It's nearly 4:30 p.m. So college starts.
Yes,
I think the first game starts in half an hour. Navy or Army or something like that against someone.
No,
against Memphis, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm about to jump on. And check them out myself. It's about 10:30 here. But again, man, I appreciate you for your time, man. I appreciate you being a BUCS fan. Anything I can do to help you and your team get your stuff off the ground, man, anything I can do whatsoever, get at me. Again, you are formally invited this season, next season, whatever the hell, you can make your way back to the States. You can join me in section 147, right under the pirate ship for your first game in Raymond James Stadium, man. You are more than welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I try my best to come, but don't know how. Now it's
Hey, we'll make it happen.
Situation, something like that. So it's hard for me to fly away. Just
yeah. That's right. You got the wife and kids.
It's hard. Yeah, with wife and kids and.
Yes. All right. Well, if you ever break away, man, you gotta see the Raymond James Stadium.
Definitely.
All right, man. Again, I appreciate your time, and I thank you for joining me. This is Outside Leverage. I'm Robert Green. That is Tobias Stark, fellow BUCS fan out of Munich, Germany, who wins one of the biggest games in the history, man. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It was great to talk to you.
It's great. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Tobias, thank you very much. Fellow BUCS fans, you guys be safe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you in just a little bit. We're going to do another one here. We're going to recap the whole first half of the BUCS season, talk about what's good going forward, talk about the bad that's been in the past. Hopefully we keep it in the past, but we'll talk about that in detail coming up on the next one. It's Robert Green. That's Tobias Stark. Once again, go BUCS.
Go BUCS.